Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm back. I wanted to make sure that I got in there just before everything was there. Whoops. Hold
All right,
on a
hi everyone. I'm
second.
back.
Okay. Just making sure that that all worked. Can everyone hear me? Did everyone hear me okay? Are we all good? Can people hear me as we're good to go? It's a me. Okay, good. So, first of all, let me just say thank you again to Soup. Thank you to Mike, to Valerie. Thank you to Amr, and thank you to Brandon. Thank you, I guess, to Brandon for being a punching bag for Amr in that last fight, which was just ridiculous, and I don't even know what to tell you, but all that stuff. But yeah, so thank you again for that amazing work. And yes, the 6100 is because I got one more donation, which came to us from Blackberry Bear, which I believe was Blackberry Bear's second donation, if I'm not mistaken. But Blackberry Bear did not want to interrupt them, so during those closing comments. So thank you again, Blackberry Bear, and that's going to bring us, I think, unless someone drops more money, but I think that's going to bring us to a final total of $6,100. And I said at the very beginning that I didn't know how far this was going to go. I didn't know exactly where to set the goal because of these things that happened before. But I mean, what can you say? When you set a goal of 2,500 and you blow through and you almost reach it, like you get over half of it in the first day and then blow through it in the second day and then are just obliterated in the third day, so that we're at 2,500 and then 3,000, we blow through that, and then 4,000, which is the record that we set last year for money raised, we blow through that, and then 5,000 double goal, we blow through that, and we end up with this. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like it's been an extraordinary event, and it is, there's, in a way, there's so many people to thank. There's so many people to be grateful to. But I do want to kind of go through as much as I can and do that. I'll only take a few minutes because I know that everyone is tired after a long session and all that. But I want to thank so many people who made this happen. First of all, I want to thank those people that you see to this side of the picture, these corporate sponsors: Alligator Alley Entertainment, Athos Arts, Beamdog, Fatbot Games, GOG.com, Hairbrain Schemes, Kraken Dice, Nomad Games, Pegasus Spiele, Tin Man Games, and not appearing there because it was hidden is Peripheral Media. Peripheral Media is just great, and they, that extra money that Mike provided really was a big help, and so I'm very grateful to them. So thank you to the sponsors once again for coming through. It was delightful, honestly, to just see people coming back on board, both new people and sort of new donors and old donors. It was great to see that. So thank you so much to the donors. Thank you, sorry, to the sponsors for making it possible to have all of these wonderful giveaways that we had during the course of the entire weekend. And my poor mods that spent the entire time just doing nothing but like giveaway management was just crazy. So yeah, it was great. So thank you so much to the sponsors. Secondly, of course, thank you to the players, all of the ones who were part of this event, who gave up parts of their weekends, sometimes many hours of their weekends to make this happen. On Friday, as per Genesis, Carlos, Kat, Zach, and Johnny, an incredible session, and we raised a ton of money on that day. And at the time, I thought that was a pretty good opening salvo, because last year, of course, they were the team that raised the most, and I didn't realize it was going to get surpassed when stuff happened later on. Then, of course, we went to Saturday morning, where we had the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation scientists. And again, I want to thank Caroline Bartman and Balint Kacho and Harry Priya Narayan, who were part of this. Again, just thank you so much, not only for the interview, but of course for being wonderful players for Mike, who did a wonderful job GMing them during their session earlier today. So thank you so much to them. And of course, they're the ones really that we're here to support, right? And so thank you so much for that. Thank you to the players in Adventures of Middle-earth Erebor Adventures, to Terry Tunes, to Amal Omatar, to Trendane, and of course to Brad Bollier, who again did a wonderful job, kept moving things forward. It was a great session in a lot of ways, a different kind of session, and it was lovely to be able to play with them as always. Then we had D&D with GOG Storm King's Thunder, and man, not only was that a big, like, super climactic event, which didn't quite end in the climax yet, we're getting there, Tuesday, but also they ended up raising the most money in the entire weekend, was what we got there. Much of that on the strength of the individual donators and their generosity. Pyron donated some, Darksaber was extremely generous, Mike, of course, was enormously tremendously generous, not just in his donation, but of course in allowing his company, Peripheral Media, to also donate and match donations. And he wasn't the only one who did that. Mike today also added something where if you donate, I will send you a book, and that is what he's going to be doing. He'll be sending that to Fleos, so that's really awesome. And of course, we had Indy last night during the concert, who also during the donations, the top donator. No, actually, it wasn't even. I think it was just anyone who donated. So we had a few people who did that. They all are getting songs and an album from him. So I was really grateful for that. I didn't ask anyone to do that. It was just added into the mix to our giveaways that we already had set and were going. So thank you again. The Storm King's Thunder D&D with GOG crew was so great, and that was a wonderful session. And then we had Community D&D with the Shadow crew last night, on Saturday night, and that also was great. That was a really fun session to watch. They also raised money. Every event this weekend, every single event raised money. Everyone. There was no dead spot at any point in any of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 separate events. We didn't have one dead spot, and that's wild. So I'm so glad that was the case. So thank you again to the Community D&D folks. How can anyone forget Trifid's makeup game on point as the Tabaxi? Of course, Echo's Christmas hat. Rock God, who was, by the way, people don't know this, but Rock God was away and had to come back just for this event. Drove back so he could participate in this. And then obviously Hoodie is always there, doing awesome work as a role player. So it was great. And of course, Shadowed Mage, who did so much work for this con with this screen that you see here, with that last Pyre Waltz overlay. That was Shadow's work as well. Also donated 30%. I mean, just Shadow did a lot of work here. And of course, managing Arcanaspot too. So Shadow did a wonderful job DMing on Saturday night also. And that led us to Sunday. And yesterday was an epic of experience for me. D&D with Infinity and Beyond Palace of the Red Pasha finale. I think that was as advertised. That was a great finale. The players did a wonderful job with it. And we raised a lot of money, and we came out of it having raised over $5,000 yesterday. And that was really wild. And yet we weren't done. We were not finished, because after that amazing Palace of the Red Pasha finale and our saying goodbye to Sod, again, not forever, but for at least a year or so, and getting ready for Eberron, the new Infinity and Beyond crew, which will be coming in next month. Then we had our concert, which was great as well. Kilgore Trout, as always, and every single person within that too. People donated during Kilgore's, Zach's, and Indie sets. Like I said, every event made money. And so Kilgore Trout, did the wonderful guitar stuff, including Morrowind as always, and While My Guitar Gently Weeps, and a couple of new things from him. Zach was just blew people out of the water. In fact, when I get done with this, I'm going to rehearsal with Zach and another Mike, my other guitarist in my band, The Road. Zach did just a wonderful job, both in Espergenesis and then in the music last night. Anyone who saw that, I think, will agree with me. That was really mind-blowing, some of the stuff he was doing, so that was great. And then Indy, who really kicked ass last night. Indy had just gotten back from a wedding. He was doing all of this stuff I have a lot of mics around me, it's true. He was doing all of this stuff. He was traveling. His voice was a little raw, but he stuck with it, and he gave, I think, a really great, legitimately great performance that was really real and raw and was just awesome. It was just a super great concert, and I was really excited to have it. And yeah, a lot of people in chat were like, can we do this more often? And I'm like, I'll have to think about that. Maybe is the answer to that. We do need to do more music concerts. That was pretty sweet. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, day 4 today. Scum and Villainy, the one shot that we did this morning with the DRCRF scientist I already mentioned, with Mike as GM. What a wonderful job Mike did in bringing brand new players. One of them had a little experience with D&D, but the others were brand new. And what a wonderful experience that we had. Some of them even contributed to this event, so they're contributing to themselves, I guess, because they're the scientists we're supporting. But they did it with goodwill and good spirit, and I was deeply inspired by them. I said that on Saturday morning. I found so much hope and joy out of this process, and I'll say more about that later on, but I was just amazing to me. So wonderful work from the scientists and from Mike. And I'm grateful to both those groups, the scientists and to Mike. And the Pyre Waltz, last but certainly not least, one shot that just concluded, hosted by Brandon O'Brien, brought to us by Soup. What a cool game, with Valerie Valdez and Mike again in a wonderful back and forth battle. And then Brandon O'Brien and Amr Amaraz with a wonderful destruction of Brandon completely by Amr. No, just kidding. Oh man, I have to say though that Brandon did a better job at narrating destruction, like the long narrative loss, than anyone I can remember. Brandon's just like, "All right, I stand up." It reminded me of the end. Honestly, it reminded me of the end of Predator 2, which is not a good movie, but where Danny Glover stands up and there's a bunch of predators that just stand up around him. He's like, "All right, who's next?" Like that. That was just it's just cracking me up to see that happen over and over and over again. So, what a really fun thing to watch, and what a great way to kind of wrap things up to feature new material and new games. I really got rocked. It was so funny though. I just was like, oh my god. So it was really great. So there we go, folks. I think I said that over almost 30 different players, musicians, and GMs were responsible for this event in terms of the front-facing stuff, and I'm super grateful to all of them, so thank you. Then, of course, I have to thank my mods. None of this happens without the mods. I've sung their praises all weekend, and again, Dragonspear, who not only was modding, but of course set up the spreadsheet with all the prize packs we were giving away in the first place, and who, when I had the meeting with them earlier this week, last Monday, said, no, we don't want fewer giveaways, even though it's going to be more work for us to manage when it's fewer, like more giveaways, we want to keep this momentum going. And so they were like, that's what they wanted. And I can't tell you what that means to me, to feel like we were really in there. That was just amazing. So thank you as well. Of course, to Saad for sure. So Dragonspear was amazing. Hillness was here for a lot of this weekend and really did a lot of good. Plus, Hillness, of course, contributed and is going to end up being the fourth top donator. And Hillness contributed a lot of money himself, over $500. So again, so grateful to Hillness for the work that he did. J-Rab was hugely helpful because J-Rab was doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes along with Triffid, who managed a lot, and I'll come to Triffid in a minute. Jay did a great job, and again, also did a great job on social media production too, so thank you to Jay for that. Shadowed Mage, I've already sung Shadowed's praises. Not only did Shadow DM, not only did Shadowed write overlays, but then Shadowed also modded and managed the commands for Arcanaspot, so Shadowed did an incredible amount of work, and so Shadowed was great too. I've already talked about the Rising Tides, who of course not only just presented what you just saw at Lao, but also was here on and off during the weekend, so thank you so much to the Rising Tides. And Triffity Mats, which everyone's been raving about, and I'm going to rave about Triffid as well. I mean, Triffid was here for so much of this weekend, easily 85% of it, also playing in it, and also, as everyone said, these words, I'm telling you, the giveaway words were absolutely on point all the way through. They were so good, and I was cracking up at watching so many of these. And so, Triffid, thank you so much for all of the work and effort, not to mention contributing herself. I mean, just so much work and effort, and I could not be more grateful. That's right, her first ArvCon as moderator, and what a wonderful job. Plus the Mad Lib, too. But just so much wonderful work from her and from all the mods. So again, from the bottom of my heart, mods, thank you, thank you. I also want to thank the regulars, including people like Echo, who and Nonstop and all the others who donated. But I want to thank Echo as well because of Echo's wonderful streamer outro that was done last night, and playing and being a part of, being a regular here for much of the weekend. So thank you to Echo and to all the regulars, many of whom contributed multiple times, many of whom did so anonymously, many of whom were here the whole time. You folks know I say all the time that the Arvanauts are the best, and this is why, because of the way that the community comes together. So I want to thank them. And last but certainly not least, I think I've thanked everyone I need to thank, but one of perhaps the most important group, and that is the people who donated to this event. Whether it was donating your time, whether it was donating your energy, whether it was donating your social media savvy, whether it was donating, your positive spirit, your positive energy, and of course, donating your money. You were the ones who made this happen. All of this event that we're doing here doesn't matter if we don't raise any money at the end of it, and if nothing happens positive from it. But instead, we raised $6,100, a ton of money, way beyond my expectations, and also just a huge amount of positive, inspirational joy. I can't tell you how many things I heard from people this weekend who sent me back channel messages saying, thank you for having this event. I feel so much hope. This is so great, blah, 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 blah. This is what we're about, right? This is what the channel is about. This is what the community is about. And this is the thing that I want to end with before I wrap up and let you folks go. And that is, we hear a lot these days about the experience of cynicism. There is a sense, I think, if you spend any time on Twitter in particular, or any of social media, but just in the world in general, that there's something more realistic about cynicism, that, the idea that you could hope for something better is such That's stuff that's fine for when you're a child, but it's not, when you're an adult, you kind of grow up and you let that go. And there is nothing that is more devastating and more false than that claim. I have asked on multiple occasions in the many years that I've been streaming and had any kind of public platform to reject cynicism. And if there's any reason to reject it, this is the proof. Not because $6,100 as an amount means that now cancer will be solved tomorrow, or, and some people I could imagine would look at it and say, $6,100, what's the bit? Jesus! I can't even get through it. Xenorex. Dear God, that is absurd. Okay, well, Xenorex, because Xenorex already donated $300. Wait, whoa. Do we have two? Do we have two that I just saw? Do we have two? Okay, so I got, first of all, Xenorex, that actually puts you realize, into second place. So that puts you in line to get the Prince Justin print. And is that anonymous thing? Could you do that? Is that what just happened? Anonymous just donated another one? Oh, Anamayanus. Oh my goodness. So if that's true, is that what just happened? I want to make sure I get that right. Is that right? I saw it from Xenorex. Is that $500? Was that anonymous? Another 500? Is that right? Because I know Anamayanus is actually a person in chat. Could you confirm, please, before I lose my shit? Could you confirm? Is that true? It should be. All right. I'm just going to put this number up and I'm going to let chat react for a minute. Okay, so that's the donated 500. Okay. You got it. You got it right. I'm speechless. And I think what that means, by the way, that means that now I have to ask two questions, and then I'm going to go ape about this. So Anomianis, okay, and then Xenorex. The two of you are both of you are now in line to be the top donator and the second top donator respectively. Do you want those? Because the last time I did this, my son has arrived. The last time we did this, hello, my son. The last time we did this, hello. The last time we did this, the last time that we did this, the person you said, Zerenek said, will be over there. I know, I'm getting to that cynicism. I'm not for the running. Okay. So then I guess the question is, I will ask that to Zerenex then, because I know you said, Xenorex, I know you said you weren't interested in the book because you're in Europe. Do you want the print? Because that would move you into the top spot. So that would move you into the top spot behind Mike Smith. So you would actually get, you would get, good night, my love. Love you, sweetheart. That would be this. That would be this. So are you in, do you want that or you don't want any prizes? All right. So it's going to stay the way it is. So, I mean, this is what I was, love you, my boy. This is what I was saying. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say, like, in a way. I do know what to say, actually. Again, the number itself seems in some ways small. But think about the enormity of having a group of people that have never met each other. Most of them, I have met a few of these people, but most of whom have never met each other in person from all over the world, who are just, for many of us, names on a screen that we have come to know in their online personas. Imagine what that means to come together and contribute this kind of amount of money for a cause this worthy. And it's not just about this cause, right? It's about any kind of thing that we face, anything we face, that our working together can overcome. The words of this channel have always been communication, compassion, and community. And you see those three things in that number. And that's the most important thing there, is not even the amount, but the implication. of what it is. Rejecting cynicism means understanding that people's compassion is also practically achievable. And scientific research, like what we've seen from the scientists that I was honored to interview and have playing games on our channel this weekend, that kind of research is practically achievable. That is not pie in the sky. That's not nonsense. And when you see people on TV and when you hear people on the radio and in newspapers or on social media telling you, the truth is I'm so done with the human race, that needs to be rejected. Because what you've seen here is an example of what happens when the human race, which is very good at being mean to itself, but it's also good at being caring and kind and compassionate and generous, and that is equally as likely to happen as the cynical forget all of it nonsense that you sometimes hear. And so I am honored to have been part of this event and to bring forward an event of this type to you folks, and to see that, and to see those 2 donations come in from 2 people that said, I want just to support this, not for anything other than to come together as a community and to do something for this cause, should be enormously inspiring to you. It should make you want to say, if we can do this here, what can we do elsewhere? What can I do in my community? What can I do in my own backyard? What can I do with my friends, with my family? What can I do in the online communities I inhabit, the offline communities I inhabit, in my school, in my workplace, in my place of worship? What can I do when I'm fighting for social justice? What can I do for these things? This ought to be proof that you can do it and have an effect. So I am so moved by this. So moved. I can't even say. And so I am deeply grateful to the donators who made this possible. And I am deeply grateful, of course, to Damon Runyon for not only being there as a foundation and doing the wonderful work they do, but to Megan and to Maddie, who were the ones that worked on this, especially Megan, who brought us together with all the scientists. Those are folks that work both for Damon Runyon in their public relations and social media works. Thank you so much for having Damon Runyon with the webpage, with the PayPal link, for having you support us and help us help you, I guess we would say. Thank you for being behind us, and thank you for doing the work you do. And thank you to the donators for this. What an incredible event. $7,000 for a goal of $2,500. $3,000 past our last goal. My God. I mean, I don't even know what to say as far as like the bar, like what it did. PayPal is a lot easier. Oh my God, I know I've been asking for it for years. I don't even know like what to say about like what the bar is going to be for next year. I don't even know, Configuration Queen was saying, you ought to set it at 6. I'm like, I don't know, maybe. But I am just so thankful to everyone who made this possible. This channel has a lot more stuff like this that we do throughout the course of the year, not this particular event, but this sort of thing where we try to support each other, where all of us have individual artistic projects, game projects, and things like that. You all know that I have some book stuff that I try to move. I'm going to be having a Kickstarter later in the later in the summer, early fall, that's going to be important for me. And we have a bunch of stuff like that that's happening. And all of that is going to be, coming down the pike, right? But for tonight, I want us to just take a moment and say, just want to say how wonderful it is to be with everybody here and to recognize that we all made it happen, all of us, everybody, every single one of you who spoke in chat, who threw out some love emotes, every one of you who retweeted it, who told your friends, who got on Discord, who spoke on Reddit, every one of you who contributed a couple of bucks, $5, $100, $500, $700, everyone who contributed any amount of money, and anyone who contributed just your time, your effort, and your positive energy. You made this happen, and I am enormously grateful to all of you. So tomorrow, I'm going to be playing some Neverwinter Nights 2 complete, and then we're going to be finishing up D&D with GOG Storm King's Thunder, and then we're going to be moving on into June with not one but 2 tabletop premieres, D&D with GOG Ghosts of Saltmarsh, and the new D&D with I&B Eberron. So we're going to be doing that, but I am just so thankful to everyone, players, mods, GMs, donators, companies that supported us, the sponsors, and most of all, to all of you for being just the best kind of community. I hope you feel proud of yourselves, because I sure feel proud of you. Um, so much love. I don't even know what to say. I am enormously thankful to Dragonspear, to Hillness, J-Rab, Shadowed Mage, Trifity Mets, Coven of Lunera, Rising Tides, Echo Alpha, Nonstop, Ballsteg. I am so grateful to BKzo, which is, of course, Balint Cacho. Thank you, Balint, again. To Blackberry Bear, to Brahms, to Configuration Queen, Critchwitch, Errant, Live Suing, Lone Wolf, Mrs. Dunsel, Prince Justin, Second Obs, Turbo Tango. Oh, I forgot. I almost forgot this. See, I knew I was going to forget someone and I didn't. Also, thanks to those who donated their prizes. Prince Justin for that print that I just mentioned. Rock God for that fireworks print, which is going to be going to Mike Smith. Thank you to those donators as well. Thank you to 1174. Thank you to Academy Impossible. Thank you to Adrian. Thank you to AFK as usual. Thank you to AG Fred, Al Madden. Thank you to Anthony. Thank you to Black Fury, Cap, Dark Show. Thank you to Deviant Fish, to Discord. Thank you to Fleos. Thank you to Free2 Sensei. Thank you to Freed. Thank you to Garlic Tofu, Geester. Thank you to Guns, Monoganti. Thank you to Haggis, to Jinken. Thank you to Koala Man, Lurking Chat, Mystaria. Thank you to Music and Arts. Thank you to Omejep. Thank you to Polymathematics. Thank you to Paulina. Thank you to Raidens. Thank you to Rand Tarchetic 1973. Thank you to Storm Unity. Thank you to Superstan, Tauntoms, The Kids Are Asleep, You Christensen, VNK, Wenchkin, and Zenerex. Thank you so much to all of you for making this a wonderful, inspiring, joyful event. I said before, I hope my folks, I hope my dogs, I hope my mom, who passed away from cancer, somewhere is looking down smiling at this, because, Mom, I thought a lot about you this weekend. Thank you, all of you, for being the best. And that it concludes ArvCon 2021. Remember, you can always donate. You can always continue to contribute. And most of all, I hope you will always keep in your heart that cynicism does not work. It doesn't play. This plays. And what you did today and this weekend is proof of it. Much love to all of you. I'll see you tomorrow, noon Eastern, for Neverwinter Nights 2 Complete. Until then, everyone be good to each other. And what can be said? Good night, all.